सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। So we will chant up to verse number 14. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः। अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव। श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः। क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि क्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम तत्क्षेत्रं यच्च यादृक् च यद्विकारी यतश्च यत् स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च। बहुधा गीतं छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः। महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचराः। इच्छा द्वेषः सुखं दुःखं सङ्घातश्चेतना धृतिः एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारमुदाहृतम्। अदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यम् आत्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा ज्ञेयं यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् Shiro mukham sarvata shrutimaloke sarvamavritya tisthati. So, having explained about the qualities required to discover the truth, which also Bhagavan calls as Jnanam, then he says, Gneyam yattat pravakshami. What is to be known, that I will now explain. Vakshami means to speak. Pravakshami, explain properly. Now one thing we have to know, what is known, what is to be known, Gneyam, is already what is attained by us. It is not something to be attained by knowing. It is already with us. By knowing, one will just recognize it. And that's why he says, Yad Gnatva Amritam Ashnute. By knowing that, one will attain immortality. So, Amritam Ashnute means not that one is not immortal now and one will become immortal later. One is immortal now as consciousness. So, Amritam Ashnute means actually Amritam or Amritatvam Bhavati. One will become immortal. One will become that truth. And the only way to that is Gneyam, is through Gnatva, It is by knowing. Because everything else what we do is a preparation for this knowing. Meaning what? Except this knowledge of the self, whatever else is in time based on some action, and it will give a particular result, which will be time bound. Not only in the world we are talking about the daily activities of the world, but even the sadhana. Karma Yoga will not lead to liberation. Why? Because Karma Yoga is a bhavana of Ishwar Arpan, and it will lead to Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi, as long as the bhavana is there, the Chitta will be Shuddha. If the bhavana goes away, Chitta will become Malin again. So no matter how best I do practice of Karma Yoga, I have to keep doing that. And yes, it is a sadhana to be done to purify the mind, no doubt. But it will by itself not lead to liberation. That's why Shankaracharya ji in the Vivek Chudamani says, Chittasya shuddhaye karma, natu vastu upalabdhaye. Chittasya shuddhaye karma. The purpose of action is only to give purity of the mind. So with great effort one will attain that purity. Every action one says that I do it for Bhagavan, I don't want for myself, Vishwararpitam, Nechaya Kritam, one will do. So that is Karma Yoga sadhana. And it will lead to purity. And that purity is a very important preparation, no doubt. Here we are not talking about that, because one will get confused saying ki having known that one will become immortal. Amritam ashnute, one will attain immortality. No, one is not going to attain immortality like how now the mind is impure and it will become pure by doing Karma Yoga sadhana. It is not like that, that we will gain the knowledge of Vedanta, then we will become immortal. It's not like that. Purity of mind will come through Karma Yoga. If one does upasana, japa, Bhagavan's sagun, sakar, roop, dhyan, worship, all that, one will attain those qualities of Bhagavan, one will attain chitta ekagrata, and one may even go to the loka of Bhagavan. But even that is not permanent. Whatever is done with karma will only give a limited result. However great that karma may be, however subtle it may be, and however important it may be. This, we should remember this again and again. We may be students of Vedanta, but are we adhikaris yet of that, the state of Gnatva? To make us adhikaris, karma yoga sadhana has to be done, upasana has to be done. But the mechanism of karma yoga and upasana, or even yoga abhyas, samadhi, or even dharma acharan, all these is not the same mechanism as in Vedanta. Because the mind generally tends to make it same. Because it will objectify. So I don't have purity now, by doing karma yoga I will become pure. I don't have single pointedness now, by becoming a devotee, by doing an upasana, I will attain single pointedness. My mind is not quiet right now, so by doing jnana abhyas, samadhi abhyas, yoga abhyas, mind will become quiet. But in all this, what is the situation? Ajnana remains. That is one common situation. 2, it is created by karma. The result will last only for a short time. And the Purva Janma Samskar also is capable of pushing us out from that state. So from Chitta Shuddhi, I can come to Chitta Malinata. From Ekagrata, I can come to wandering Vikshepa. From that Samadhi, I can again come out of Samadhi. Dharma Palan I may be doing, and suddenly I may land up doing Adharma. So all these have their own place. But Bhagavan is taking us in a different direction right now. Because by giving all these values, what he said, the preparation is indicated. Now what does he say? Gneyam yattat pravakshyami. I will just tell you, explain to you properly. If you hear it and recognize it with the right attitude, when I have the mind which is pure, single-pointed, one will know it now. That's why he says, Yad jnatva amritam ashnute. If you know this, instant is immortality. Again, the other things give result in time. Vedanta doesn't give result in time because it is recognition of who I am, that's all. This mala is on my neck. The moment somebody points it out, the mala is already on my neck. Immediate recognition, no, it's here. I was searching somewhere else. Everything else I have to put in the effort. In time the result will come. Bound by time it will perish. This Vedantic result is not like that. Yad jnatva amritam ashnute. Immediate, one will attain immortality. And if one doesn't attain immortality immediately, attain meaning discovers one's nature as immortal, not as the BMI but as consciousness, then what does that mean? It only means the preparation is not yet complete. So I have to focus on the preparation. So, Gneyam yattat pravakshami says, now what is to be known? With a prepared mind, what is to be known? That I will tell you. And having known that, yad jnatva, and that's why the word jnanam keeps coming, jnatva, jnanam keeps coming again and again. Jnanena ivatu kaivalyam, when Shankaracharya says, only through knowledge there is liberation. Somewhere the mind goes on giving more importance to everything else except knowledge. Because the mind keeps thinking, ये तो सुन लिया, okay, I am consciousness, अब उसमें क्या है? I want to do something else. I want to experience. Out of body travel, Swamiji. Astral travel क्या होता है? Reading the minds of people, what does it, what happens? What siddhis will one get? Will I be able to manifest what I want? Our mind gets interested in all these. Which is why Vairagya is so important, that one has seen through all that and then one says, those are toys. So, yajñātva amritam ashnute. Having known this, one will attain immortality. So, what is that? Now he gives the pointers. Anadimat param brahma, that which is beginningless, that we saw. And which is param brahma, which is supreme Brahman. There is nothing greater than that Brahman, that infinite consciousness. And it is nasattan nasaduchyate. It is neither existence nor non-existence. In what sense? This existence and non-existence is in relation to object. So if a pot pot exists. Now then we break it. Now we say pot does not exist. But both that existence of the pot and non-existence of the pot is only a concept. The cause, which is the mud, is as it is. Mud in a certain way we are calling it as pot, then we are saying pot exists. Then mud in a certain way we are saying no, pot is not there. We are saying pot does not exist. In the same way, consciousness is that infinite which is by itself what it is. The world exists. Waking dream state we experience the world. Deep sleep state the world does not exist. Both this existence and non-existence is in relation to the buddhi. If the buddhi is active, existence I perceive, or I perceive non-existence of some object. But even the non-existence is perceived only as this is not there. Meaning, when we say this is not there, there is existence of that, no? So the ultimate truth is that which is beyond buddhi, beyond perception of the buddhi in the waking dream, beyond the perception, beyond the absence of the buddhi in the deep sleep. So existence, non-existence, as Gurudev says, they are only two types of thought waves. Brahman is beyond both. Then we saw 14th one, Sarvata Pani Padam Tat. It has the feet everywhere and hands everywhere. Meaning, it is that enlivening factor for all the senses of action. Pani Padam, Akshi, Shiraha and Mukhaha. Eyes, ears, mouth, eyes, ears, mouth, head, everything. It is pervading everything. Sarvam avritya tishtati. So from knowledge standpoint, what it means? Consciousness is that which enlivens all this. Without them, this will not function. Second meaning is to see that, to understand consciousness is all pervasive. And it is one. It is not a limited thing bound by form. So consciousness in the ant, in the elephant, in the human being, in the devatas is all one and the same. The same truth pervades everything. Sarvata Pani Padam Tat. From bhakti standpoint, when we say, then what do we understand? That Bhagavan is all pervasive. So Sarvata Pani Padam Tat means all hands are His, all feet are His. Meaning all karma is done by Bhagavan. He is the karta, I am not the karta. Second, it also means whatever is offered to Bhagavan anywhere, Bhagavan accepts. Because He is only everywhere. In whichever form, wherever. So if I serve the poor with the bhav that I am serving Bhagavan, then Bhagavan is accepting through that. The interesting thing is whether I know it or not, Bhagavan is only accepting. But by my knowing, my mind becomes purified. Simple. It is not that when we give to somebody, let us say poor person, one feeds. Now when one feeds the poor person, if one feeds with a certain ego saying ki I am feeding this person, if I was not there, this person would not have got this food. I may have that ego. But the truth anyway is Bhagavan only is there through this form also and consuming it, whether I know it or not. If I do it with the attitude that I am a devotee, I am serving Bhagavan through this, then my mind gets purified. And that's why Prahladji did not have any confusion. When they asked him, Hiranyakashipu asked him, is your God even in the pillar? He said, Bhagavan is in the pillar also. That portion in Bhagavatam is very interesting, where Hiranyakashipu asks him that, what is that power because of which you are so fearless and you are not scared of death? He says it is the same power which is making you also say all this. Are there two different powers? He says the same power, it is in you and me, everywhere, there is only one power. Then he gets very angry because he thought that Vishnu is the one who killed his brother, no? Hiranyaksha. So he is enemy of Vishnu, and Vishnu, Bhagwan's mandir, he has to destroy. Yajna anybody does, he doesn't allow them, kills the Brahmanas who do yajna, all that he does. Why? Because he has hatred against Vishnu Bhagwan. Think about that if you go, little diversion from this main topic here, but they both are the dutas of, they are the Dwarpals of Bhagwan Vishnu, who are devotees, who have done such tapasya and bhakti that they can be the Dwarpal of Bhagwan Vishnu and Vaikuntha. And little ego came there also, and they got cursed. Now when they got cursed, look at the condition. They have become enemies of Bhagwan, doubting whether Bhagwan even exists. Think what the mind can do, that when a person gets identified with the body, comes into this, it can do anything. Purva Janma Samskar is there, whatever they have done bhakti, but that shrap what they got, finished. Because of that they forgot. And they become against Bhagavan Vishnu, and the same person who was the devotee earlier, now is going on destroying all the temples of Bhagavan, destroying the yajnas, destroying the bhaktas. Just imagine what is the play. Which is why one has to be so alert. He only hold on to Bhagavan. Little ego comes at any point in time, finished. One falls. So here when he says Sarvata Pani Padam Tat, everywhere is Bhagavan's hands and feet. So if one knows very clearly, whatever I am doing, I am serving Bhagavan. Whether the opposite person is acting like that or not, that is also doesn't matter actually, if you think from Upasana standpoint. If I serve my child, that I am serving Bhagavan through my child. My child may not show divine qualities, but my bhavana is I am serving Bhagavan only, and the truth is Bhagavan only is manifesting as the child. Yes, in that point in time, the mind is not aware of that, so that child doesn't act in that way. That's why Prahlad doesn't have any hatred against Hiranyakashipu, because he sees Bhagavan only everywhere. So, Sarvata Pani Padam Tat Sarvatokshi Shiromukham means that the bhakta can have that bhav that Bhagavan alone is everywhere, and whatever I am doing is a seva of Bhagavan. And whatever I am offering is also reaching Bhagavan. Because that confusion is there in the minds of people. Suppose you go to the temple. You take one basket of flowers and one goes to the temple, but what you offer doesn't reach the deity. There only the pujari may take and put it in a plate down there and give you the balance, saying ki le jao. And somebody else has given, wo wahan pe pahunch gaya. Now one feels, अरे उसका पहुंच गया, मेरा नहीं पहुंचा, ये क्या है ये? गए थे किसके लिए? भगवान को याद करने के लिए. Now one is stuck, मेरा फूल उधर नहीं पहुंचा, इसका पहुंच गया. Means what? My wish will not be fulfilled, his wish will be fulfilled. अरे राम, you go take it, Bhagavan will receive it, even if you take it to the altar there. Even if it has not reached there, doesn't matter. No, Pujari took it. Are Pujari who also Bhagavan only standing there. Don't worry. If you have that bhav ki this Bhagavan only took. Who sold the flower to you? That was Bhagavan only. Who told you to give it here? Bhagavan only. No, but he spoke very rudely, Swamiji. He didn't allow my flower to go there. Are chhod do. Your bhav should be on Bhagavan. Separately, if one has to deal with it, you deal separately, saying that systems have to be created properly so that the devotee's offering reaches. That is a different matter. But our main focus is what? And all these sentimental things people get into. Swamiji, when I was standing and praying, suddenly one flower fell. That means Bhagavan's kripa is there. It fell because there was no balance for it, it just fell. but wo gira matlab Bhagwan. Vedant, when we understand, it is our bhavana that whether the flower falls or not doesn't matter. Bhagwan is there to receive all the thing and bless. Or kya? Sarvata pani padam tat sarvatokshi shiromukham. He has eyes everywhere. Akshi means what? He is seeing everything. Nothing is hidden from Bhagwan. Think about it. If we understand Vedant properly, can we hide anything from Bhagwan? Before a thought comes in my mind, Bhagwan knows it or not. How will a thought come to me without consciousness enlivening? That consciousness only is Bhagwan. So what will I hide? I can't hide anything. And what will Bhagwan test me? Which Bhagwan doesn't know. आ गया देखा. So the point is, to motivate ourselves, we may say that Bhagwan is testing me. Bhagwan doesn't test anybody. Because he is the Antaryami in the hearts of all. Even before we recognize what is going to be our response and we respond, he already knows that. That is Antaryami. So every single thought that arises in our mind, we don't have any ownership of that actually. It is already Bhagwan who is enlivening it. Bhagwan knows it. So one doesn't have any ego of it, saying, oh, this is my thought, my originality, my this thing. One of the reasons why Gurudev used to say that our rishis did not sign, saying that this is the mantra revealed to me, or this Veda is compiled by me, is all Bhagwan's creation only. So when he says Sarvata Pani Padam, all actions are by Bhagwan, no Karta Bhav. And through hands and legs of everybody, every single creature I am helping, I am serving Bhagwan only. Sarvataha Akshi, everywhere the eyes of Bhagwan are there. Bhagwan listens to each and everything. If you want to apply this nowadays for technology also, you can apply. Sarvata Pani Padam Tat Sarvatokshi Shiromukham. That technology is listening to everything. Your conversation, my conversation, and suddenly the ad will come. Some product will come, some reel will come, something. Because Sarvatokshi Shiromukham. Everywhere, everything is listening. Sarvata Shruti Malloke. Most scaring it is. Even the camera is never off. Through that camera they are seeing continuously. Through the phone, through the computer, through everything. But technology is not Bhagwan. That we should remember. Some people think technology is God. Everything is technology. Tech is inert Jadavastu it is. Even if it becomes so, smart like human beings, self-awareness as what you and I can realize that there is infinite consciousness and I am that, how will that come? That won't happen. It may be only a thought, that's all. You can even create that kind of a thought and it may even say Aham Brahmasmi, but what that indicates, it will not be able to experience. So, Sarvata Pani Padam Tat Sarvatokshi Shiromukham Sarvata Shruti Malloke Sarvam Avritya Tishtati. It is that which pervades, envelopes everything. Nothing is out of its grace, nothing is out of its... there is no thing, no being in whom Bhagwan is not there. Now, having said that, now few verses which come, they use as though the language of contradiction. Sarvendriya gunabhasam Sarvendriya vivarjitam Asaktam sarva bhritchaiva Nirgunam guna bhoktracha. So, he says here, Sarva Indriya Guna Abhasam. This consciousness is what? All the Indriyas, Sarva Indriya. through those indriyas, that which is shining. Sarvendriya guna abhasam. And it can be recognized through that. Meaning, if I can't recognize consciousness directly, then what do I recognize it through? That consciousness is that because of which the eye is able to see, the ear is able to hear, the nose is able to smell, the tongue can taste or speak, the skin can touch, all this. Conscious sarva indriya. And sarva indriya means 2 points. Indriya here means both senses of knowledge as well as senses of action, both. And indriya also means, so these are the bahish karana or bahir indriyas. Antakarana or the inner indriya is the mind and intellect. More precisely, if we want to say, mind, intellect, memory and ego. All the 4. It is known through the functioning of these. So if somebody says, no, to withdraw the attention of the mind and then to withdraw from the world outside, then body, then prana, then mind, then thoughts, everything, and then you recognize consciousness alone is very difficult to do. Then you recognize through every thought, through every perception. That's what the Kenopanishad says. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. Bodham prati. In every thought that arises, one will recognize a thought only because of consciousness. Every perception that arises, it happens only because of thought. Now if there is the glass, now this glass I can see, where is it being seen? This mind through the eyes goes out, consciousness is enlivening the mind, so the mind enlivened by consciousness goes out through the eye, pervades the glass, then the image of that is created in the brain, then I become aware of that. Consciousness alone is doing all this through the equipment. If that consciousness is not functioning through the equipment will not function. Like how to know electricity? Through the light of the bulb, through the heat in the heater, through the music in the sound system. Through every perception that way, one recognizes consciousness. What will happen in that? The attention shifts from the perception or the object to consciousness. Sarvendriya gunabhasam. Sarvendriya vivarjitam. At the same time, it does not have any senses. In consciousness by itself, there is no sense, organ, or mind, or thought. It is free from all this. Sarva indriya vivarjitam. Like if we say electricity, in electricity by itself, there is no heat, there is no light, there is no sound. But then how to recognize electricity? Through this bulb, through the heater, through the sound system, one can recognize. Both the ways it is electricity only. And both the ways it can be recognized. It is not one only. It is both the ways I can recognize. But in one, there is an engagement, in the other, there is a withdrawal. Challenge of engagement is I forget the source and I get attached to the object. So, Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. By itself, it doesn't have any senses, it doesn't have any thoughts, emotions, desires, nothing. But if there are senses, sensory perception, if there is emotion, if there is thoughts, all this is enlivened by consciousness. Asaktam Sarvabhritchaiva. It is completely detached. And yet it is the upholder of everything. So completely detached meaning electricity has nothing to do with bulb or heater or the sound system, nothing. It is just there. If there is a bulb, it will enliven it, make it according to the equipment. Whatever is the wattage of that bulb, that much light it will give. If there is a sound system, it will create music. By itself, it is not doing anything. It is completely detached from it, though enlivening it. And though it is detached, sarva bhrit chaiva, it is upholding everything, meaning what? Without it, none of this will function. That consciousness is both completely detached yet fully supporting. This applies to not only consciousness, this applies to Ishvara also. As Ishvara, Bhagavan is completely detached from every single jiva. Meaning what? Ishvara is not a collection of only all the jivas. Ishvara is much beyond. Jivas are limited. And Ishvara is the one who has no raga and dvesha for any jiva. Ishvara will do the karma phala, what we say, the karma phala data he is, according to the laws of karma. Whatever karma the jiva has done, accordingly the result will be attained by that jiva. No, Swamiji, but Ishvara Anugraha is there. No, on the devotees. They are invoking that by their grace, by their sadhana. Sunlight is everywhere. Now you put solar cell above on the terrace and then you get that solar energy, then you have tapped it. Bhakta is tapping that factor. Bhagavan is not saying separately ki acha, he is coming to temple every day, so chalo, give him some concession. Uska thoda paap maaf kar do, thoda punya account बढ़ा दो, and these people are not coming, डाल दो, इसके account में से पाप निकाल के उसके account में डाल दो. Bhagavan is not doing all that. Even devotee goes through difficult times as per the karma. But because there is sadhana, there is sharanagati, etc., one goes through it with grace. So asaktam means that. Because people have all wrong kinds of expectation. They think that if I am a bhakta, why am I suffering? And they test Bhagavan. Ki if my devotion is real and if you are real and your grace is real, then make this happen. Then remove this sorrow. If that doesn't happen, that means you are not having compassion. That means you are heartless. That is all human buddhi which works in raga and dvesha only. What we apply to our regular relationship, that we are trying to apply to Bhagavan. Bhagavan is saying, Are, in every situation I am the one who is upholding you, sarva bhrit chaiva. Without me none of this will happen. Difficult times you will go through for your good. Like the parent is saying, the child has to be made independent, it has to be made strong. So the parent will expose the child to different things, some difficulties also. How does it matter? No, my father is not loving me, otherwise he would not put me through difficult times. Are, he is loving you, that's why he is putting you through difficult times so that you become strong. No, I can't accept that. Are, he is only holding you. That one doesn't understand. In a particular way it has to happen, then the mind has got fixated with that. Bhagavan knows the big picture. He does what he does with his omniscient knowledge. So if one knows that, asaktaha, Bhagavan is completely, Ishvara is completely detached from all the jivas, yet is the support of everybody. This if we apply even in relationships, it will become so good. We can be loving to everybody yet detached from all. Our life goes in otherwise raga and dvesha. Some are very dear to me and some are not very dear to me, and some I am indifferent towards and some I will hate. This goes on. If a person understands this very clearly, then loving to everybody. Now, that's where the confusion happens. If I am detached, meaning I am not loving. And sarva bhrit chaiva means what then? Loving to everybody means same type of love. Obviously, it can't be same love to all. No, it will be different. How I love the mother, how I love the friend, how I love a sister, how I love the spouse, employee, whoever it is. According to the role, there will be differences. But no attachment anywhere. Without this, I can't be happy. Without that person, I can't be happy. One may even miss them if they are not there, but there is no attachment. If they have passed on, they have passed on. They were in their journey, they came, we met together, we stayed for some time, they went. Even if they have not passed on in life, only one may split, no contact for many years, doesn't matter. Love is the same. So if one understands that, then one will be detached and yet very, very loving. Asaktam sarvabhrit chaiva. Otherwise the mind says detached means out of mind. What is that? Out of sight, out of mind. One may have love also. One may be able to relate also. But no attachment. That is the best form of relationship. Where there is love, but there is no possessiveness, there is no attachment, there is no clinging, there is no, if you don't do this for me, that means you don't love me. You didn't even remember my birthday, my anniversary. Arey yaar. Kahan atke hain? So, if a person understands, how will this come? This attitude will come when I become a seeker, when I see divinity in all. So, asaktam sarvabhrit chaiva. As consciousness, it is the enlivener of everything, unaffected by anything, and yet it is supporter of everything. Like what we give the example of the screen. The screen in the movie is asaktam as well as sarvabhrit. For the first one, sarvendriya gunabhasam, sarvendriya vivarjitam, the example is electricity and the equipment. Asaktam sarvabhrit chaiva is screen and the scenes. The screen is supporting every single scene. Without that you can't see the movie. At the same time it is absolutely untouched. That is why different scenes I can see. If one scene ka image gets printed on that, then the other scenes will be not seen properly. So asaktam sarvabhrit chaiva. Then nirgunam guna bhoktracha. It is that which is beyond the three gunas. Nirgunam means it doesn't have guna at all. Anything which is finite will have guna, which has form, that will have properties, guna. And the gunas are how many? Three. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. All combinations of these three only in the whole Srishti. And these gunas are in what? They are the nature of Prakriti. Prakriti, Maya, whatever we call it. Consciousness is that which is beyond. Brahman is beyond Maya. Though we may say Maya is the power of Brahman. We say Maya is the power of Brahman only to explain the Srishti because you and I are seeing the Srishti. If we say that Srishti is there, then from where it came? From Brahman only it came. Why? Because Brahman is Sarvabhrit. He is the upholder of everything. If at all you see the dream, then the dream is coming from where? The waker's mind. But the truth is, even while the dream is going on, the waker is lying on the bed, nothing is happening. It is all illusory. So for the third one, we have to take the example of dream. Dream is, when we take the example of waker and the dreamer, then nirgunam guna bhoktracha. The waker is the one in whom there is no dream creator, no dream, no dreaming, nothing. He is lying on the bed quietly. Nirgunam. From the waker standpoint. But from the dream standpoint, if the dream is being seen, then from where it came? From the waker. So waker is guna bhoktracha. That waker only has become the dreamer, the dream characters, dream world, everything. So guna bhoktracha. The experiencer of that entire dream is who? That waker only. But not as the waker by itself. Waker using the power of dreaming has become dream creator. So we say Brahman, using the power of Maya, has become Ishvara, and that Ishvara has projected this whole world, and then he only has become this whole thing, and he is only going through this whole thing. So remember this, Nirgunam Guna Bhoktricha. If this clarity comes, then we will never blame God. Because we think like this, अरे उनकी लीला है और हम फंस गए इसमें. We are suffering in this. He is so enjoying. And he has put us here to suffer. Why did he put us here to suffer? Arey, he is only suffering. Look at that. Guna Bhoktra is written there. He only has become every single jiva. The dream creator only is the dream characters also. All the dream characters, the jivas in the dream are all nothing but the dream creator only. What vanity it is to say that I am separate from that. See, this is the beauty of our Sanatana Dharma. When we say that Aham Brahmasmi, that is not vanity, that is a statement of fact. To say I am a jiva separate from God, that is vanity. That is ego. Some other cultures to say, because they said I am Brahman, they crucified that person. And those people who were the ignorant people, they crucified the person who is enlightened for saying the truth. And the best part is they were waiting for that person to come. And he came and he told the truth and they crucified. That is the ignorance. So even we do that when in Sanatana Dharma, when we say ki, in such a loose way people say, वो करे तो लीला, हम करे तो character ढीला. अरे Krishna Bhagwan, if he played with 16,000 gopis, if he married 16,000 princes, it is not that his character is this thing. It's not that he just did some out of our enjoyment. He only has become every single jiva here. So who is going through everything is he only. But when we don't have the right standpoint, then we are confused. So here it is said, Nirgunam Guna Bhoktracha. So these three expressions now, they appear to be contradictory. But they are not contradictory actually. They are from different standpoints. One is Upadhi standpoint, one is Nirupadhi standpoint. So Upadhi standpoint are what? Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, Sarvabhrit and Guna Bhoktra. This is from Upadhi standpoint, meaning equipment standpoint. And Sarvendriya Vivarjitam, Asaktam, Nirgunam. This is from consciousness by itself, its own standpoint, without any upadhis. Like electricity by itself, we say Sarva Indriya Vivarjitam. It is free from all equipment. It is asaktam, it is unattached. And it is nirgunam, it doesn't have any qualities. Now this is understood. Now we will go one step further. So, in Vedanta, there is the model of superimposition and negation. Okay. So the line on this shloka, Shankaracharya ji, when he wrote the commentary, he wrote Adhyaropa apavadabhyam nishprapancham prapanchate. This is traditional Vedanta saying. Adhyaropa apavadabhyam nishprapancham prapanchate. Nishprapancham meaning that supreme state where there is no duality. If that has to be explained, because you and I are in this state, and we are asking from where this whole thing came, and the teacher is saying, Kyare, this never came. There is only one Brahman. Now how to understand that? Nishprapancham, that is where there is no duality at all, and we are in Prapancha. So how to explain to that student and lift that student to that state? So the methodology that Vedanta uses is Adhyaropa and Apavada. So 3 steps are there. One is Adhyasa, which is my delusion, false notion that I have, because of which I am in the duality state right now, where I am thinking this is all real, because identified with the body, with the senses, with the mind, with the intellect, with the ego. Now this is my reality. I am thinking I am this, then the world is real and then God is separate from me. So now the duality has come, Jiva, Jagat, Jagdishwara. This is called Adhyasa. As means to throw. Adhyasa means we have been thrown into this duality because of this false notion, because of ignorance. Now this Adhyasa has to be removed. Now directly, if one says, this is not there only, one will not be able to understand. So in between what will be done is Adhyaropa, is a deliberate superimposition. See, Adhyasa can mean also superimposition, which you and I are doing right now, where we have superimposed reality to the world, where we have superimposed the Jiva to be real, that I am this. We have what we call as Dehatma Bhav and Satya Buddhi for the Jagat. This is our superimposition, which we have done. False superimposition is called Adhyasa. It is done out of ignorance. Atmani Atmani Dehatma Bhavaha and Jagati Satya Buddhi. That is the two things that we have done. That is our superimposition or our ignorance. Now what will the scripture do? It will do deliberate superimposition, which is a certain model that the scripture will create. So it will say that, okay, this jiva that you are seeing is made up of panchakosha, or 3 bodies, or 3 states. These are all teaching models. Now again, please remember, when we say teaching model, does not mean that this is only cooked up. This is what is there in our personality. By analyzing that, one will be taught, you are not this, you are something else. So this deliberate superimposition is being done. Now when deliberate superimposition is done, so which are the words here for deliberate superimposition? Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, then Sarvabhrit, then Gunabhoktru. These are deliberate superimposition, where the scripture is saying that all the sense perception, which you and I generally think are our sense perception, scripture is saying, no, it is consciousness which is functioning through all this, so all perceptions belong to consciousness, meaning all perceptions you can recognize consciousness. It is deliberately superimposing. What? It is superimposing the sense perception, sense faculties on consciousness, which by itself doesn't have. Like electricity by itself doesn't have any light or heat or sound. But now how to make you understand electricity? So I am deliberately superimposing, saying that which is manifesting through this bulb as light, that is electricity. So now using the bulb, using the light, now I am trying to say that what is electricity. So this is called deliberate superimposition. This is called Adhyaropa. Now consciousness doesn't have any gunas in itself, but here it is said guna bhoktru. Who is the bhokta? Is consciousness. Who is the karta? Consciousness. So when earlier it was said, sarvata pani padam tat, it is that which is enlivening all the hands and legs. There we saw it is the karta, it is harta, dharta, it is everything. So that is called deliberate superimposition. Now when deliberate superimposition is done, after that apavada will be done. That is the third step. Apavada means negation. So what will get negated with it? My false notion plus the deliberate superimposition, both will get negated. Okay. What will remain? Only truth will remain. So from the thinking that I am the jiva, and I am seeing, I am hearing, I am handsome, I am beautiful, I am loving, I am this, I am that. Now, that is the adhyasa. Now the adhyaropa is sarvendriya guna bhasam. All this is actually because of consciousness. Consciousness alone is doing all this. Acha. Then it is said sarvendriya vivarjitam. So my attention shifted from jiva to consciousness. Now when my attention shifted from jiva to consciousness, now it is said in that consciousness there is no sense at all. There is no mind at all. There are no thoughts at all. Acha. And you are that. Now what happened? My bhav that I am the jiva went away. The deliberate superimposition that consciousness is doing all this went away. Now what remained? Brahman alone. This you apply for the whole Srishti now. If I am seeing Srishti, from where it came? It came from consciousness. So what is the source? Consciousness. It is that, so Brahman is defined like that. That from which the whole Srishti rises, in which it stays, into which it goes. That is Brahman. Now my attention shifts from Srishti to Brahman. Now when it shifts from Srishti to Brahman, then it will be said, there is no Srishti, Sthiti, Laya at all in that. It is beyond all change. That alone is. Now Prapancha also gone, Srishti also gone, Sthiti also gone, Laya also gone, Ishwaratva also gone, Jiva also gone, everything gone. What remained? Brahman. Not Ishwar. Brahman. Maya gone, Ishwar gone, Srishti gone, everything gone. Why? Because the nature of Brahman is that which is changeless. How can the changeless produce any change? So now if that is understood, this is the model that Vedanta uses. Our false superimposition is removed by, is first mixed with deliberate superimposition, then both these are negated one shot. Apavada. Simple example my teacher used to give is, dishes which are there, which are you have eaten food, dishes are to be cleaned. Now dishes already are dirty, it has whatever food particles and anything else on it. Now I have to clean. So what will I do? Add soap. Now when I add soap, with that soap, I will clean the whole thing. And then you put water, that is apavada. So that dirty plate is what? Adhyasa. Soap is what? Adhyaropa. Now you've cleaned both this. Put water, so that food particle also gone, soap also gone. What remains? Clean plate. Like that. So in this same shloka, there is one word is adhyaropa, second word is apavada. Sarvendriya gunabhasam is what? अब ये तीन में से क्या है बताओ? सर्वेंद्रिय गुणाभासम इज अध्यास, अध्यारोप और अपवाद. व्हाट इज इट? सर्वेंद्रिय गुणाभासम इज अध्यास और अध्यारोप. हाउ इट इज अध्यास? It has to be adhyasa only. Because sarvendriya gunabhasam. Consciousness is that which is known through every single perception of the sense. It is adhyaropa. Sarvendriya vivarjitam is what? Apavada. It is a negation. Sarvabhrit chaiva is what? Adhyaropa, deliberate superimposition. Asaktam is what? Apavada. Nirgunam is what? Apavada. Guna bhoktricha is what? Adhyaropa. This is in this context, okay? We have to understand. Like when it is said, it is moving and yet not moving. In the Ishavasya it is said, Tadejati, Tanna ejati. It moves and it moves not. One say, अरे क्या है ये? Decide करो कि भाई move हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. You know, a lot of these, when people don't understand, they don't study Vedanta in a traditional way, then they think, what kind of this thing it is? You are so undecided about the truth. एक बार बोलते हो निर्गुण है, एक बार बोलते हो गुण भोक्तृ है, ये क्या है ये? Because they don't understand the methodology. When it is said it is moving, it is with reference to the equipment. So if you are sitting in the car, can you apply the same thing or not? Moving yet not moving. Why? From the car standpoint, you are moving. But from your standpoint, you are sitting. You are not moving at all. Same way, from the equipment standpoint, it is ejati. From its own standpoint, it is na ejati. So this is the point. Now these are verses for contemplation. Which means what? That when I sit for contemplation, then I have to do apavada. If the thoughts keep coming to me, there I can do adhyaropa, saying these are all belonging to consciousness alone, and even these thoughts. So instead of going into the nature of thought, what do? Go into the source. Consciousness is that from where these thoughts are rising, staying, falling. So my attention is on that. Sarvendriya gunabhasam. Through every single thought, through every single perception, what I am experiencing is actually consciousness alone. Because if consciousness is not there, there will not be a thought only. This glass will not be known unless there is consciousness. My focus is on the glass, in the way in which I am knowing the glass, in the spectacles through which it is clearly seen, or through the eyes, through the mind. Attention is on all these. So one has forgotten. Actually, what is making this entire thing happen is only consciousness. So if my attention shifts, so if any thought comes in my mind, suppose I am sitting to do nididhyasan. See, when I am doing japa, if the mind wanders, what do I have to do? Bring it back to the mantra. There also, what will the sadhana told? Don't get into the nature of the thought. Suppose the thought comes, I have to meet such and such person today. Now, I am saying Om Namah Shivaya, and the mind says you have to meet this person. If the mind is not alert, the next thought will be, okay, I have to meet this person, then this is what I will talk, and then this is what I will do, and this is how the deal will be cracked, and it is gone. Then after some time I realize, Hare. Then again you bring back. Again start Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. What Vedanta, what the sadhana is, don't encourage those thought processes. Don't even think why this thought has come. My mind is so distracted. My japa is not working well. Nothing. The moment you recognize the mind has shifted away from the mantra, what to do? Just bring it back to the mantra. That's it. No extra thought required. You bring it back to the mantra. That is in upasana. Same, if I have done that practice properly, then this nididhyasana also I have to apply similar thing. If the thought rises, whatever it may be, I have to meet this person. My attention is not on the thought, not on the person. My attention is, I am that consciousness because of which the thought rises. Stay as a consciousness. I am, full stop. Whatever you say, whether you say Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, or you feel that, I am, that astitva, I have to come to that asti, sat. Bring the back mind to the source. That's all has to be done. What is the nature of that thought, where it is leading, why it is rising, what is the vasana behind it, none of that I have to bother. And come to this Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. I am that consciousness which has no perceptions, no thoughts, no emotions. I support everything, yet I am free from everything. That Sat I am. So this is the sadhana that has to be done. Bring it back to nididhyasan. This is not like mantra japa, where I have to repeat the mantra. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. I don't have to do this Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, Sarvendriya Vivarjitam, Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. No. I have to come to that bhav. Again I am saying bhav, that has very, that's a language limitation. It is not a bhav, it is not a thought, it is not a feeling. It is the enlivening factor for all these, which we feel, aham, I am. Every moment we feel that. One has to only come back to that again and again. So there is no fighting a thought, there is no indulgence in a thought, there is no commentary on the thought, none of this. Just come back to aham, full stop. So that is this. So asaktam sarva bhritchaiva. I am that which is detached from everything, yet upholder of everything. Nirgunam guna bhoktricha. By itself it is nirgunam and it is yet the enjoyer of all the gunas. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha sukshmatvat tada vigneyam durastham chantike cha tat. Bahihi antascha bhutanam. It is outside also and it is inside also. Now this outside and inside is made from the distinction of the body. Beyond this boundary of this body, we say it is outside. Within, we call it as inside. That is one boundary. But bahihi antascha bhutanam, meaning what? It is that which is not an object to be known outside, but it is that which is enlivening everything that we experience in so-called world outside. Bahihi antascha bhutanam. So it is not only out, it is also in. It is not only in, it is also out. See, as consciousness, one can understand this, ki consciousness enlivens every single thing in the world. Without that, it will not exist. Without that, we will not be aware of it also. So awareness has to be inside here. Then I experience it. So that is one meaning. But this also means what? You can apply this to Ishvara also. Where is Ishvara? Outside also and inside also. These Hindus have got some solid confusion. भगवान मंदिर में नहीं है, भगवान लोगों के हृदय में है. Go and serve the poor. Why do you have to go to the temple? Go and serve the poor and you, Bhagwan will be more happy with you. अरे भगवान मंदिर में भी है. Why are you saying भगवान मंदिर में नहीं है? When we are saying भगवान is सर्वम आवृत्य तिष्ठति, when it is said he is everywhere, then he is there in the temple also. There is one passage that Rabindranath Tagore wrote. He must have written in a context. But people quote it left and right, saying God is not in the temple, God is not in the ritual, God is not in the prayer you are doing, God is in the hearts of these people. Go and serve them and feed the poor. Arey, you do that also. That anyway Sanatan Dharma is saying ki daan karo, dharm karo, all that. But why are you doing this khandan of the mandir and the murti and the ritual and all that? And take pride in that. I don't believe in all this. Puja part is not my type. I am not temple type. Then what type? Pub type you are. Nothing wrong. You can enjoy there also. Bhagwan is there also. For us, we don't have a problem only. You enjoy in the pub also and you enjoy in the temple also. As long as you know you are Brahman, that's enough. But if you say, नहीं भगवान वहाँ पर नहीं है, भगवान केवल इन जीवों में है, तो next line also he says, acharam charam evacha. So clearly it is said, acharam, in that which is non-moving also Bhagwan is there. Consciousness is there in that also. No, tasya pratimana asti, people start quoting, it does not have a form. Arey, that is in a different context, tasya pratimana asti. Meaning you cannot objectify it, saying ki it is limited by this form. It is, all forms are his, yet no forms are his. That is simplest ideal of Vedanta. So it is all inclusive, at the same time it is all exclusive. That is Vedanta. There is nothing more inclusive than Vedanta. Right? Acharam charam evacha. Every single thing that is non-moving, acharam. Means, so what does acharam mean here? Every single thing which is non-moving, meaning the sthavar, or like we say stones, these things, this chair, all this, or even trees, they are achara. And chara is moving. That way air is also moving. So acharam and charam is not equal to jada and chetan. Please remember. Jada and chetan is different from achara and charas. Many times we say chara is jada, achara is jada and chara is chetan. No, no, no. They are two different things because air is moving everywhere and space is not moving anywhere. But both air and space are jada vastu. So when he says acharam and chara, it means all yonis actually. Sthavar yoni and jangam yoni, all moving and non-moving. Consciousness pervades all. So it is inside also, it is outside also. Bahihi antascha bhutanam. So outside as all the entire Srishti is Bhagavan. And inside if we say, so this BMI also as a part of the Srishti. Kshetra only it is actually. In that if we have separated the Kshetra as Sthula and Sukshma, then that is Bahihi and Antaha. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha. Moving and non-moving. Every single thing which is in the dream, which is, let us say, all the dream characters and even the rivers and the wind and the trees, etc., which are non-moving, they are all the mind of the dreamer. And all those jivas which are moving, they are also the mind of the dreamer only. So, acharam charamevacha. Sukshmatvat, and because it is so subtle, tad avigneyam. It is difficult to comprehend. Interesting, na? It is everywhere, inside, outside, every single thing is pervaded by that only. Yet it is very difficult to comprehend. It is all pervasive. Everywhere it is, not only inside, outside also. If I see Brahman. If I don't see, I see Brahman. There is nothing else that I can experience except Brahman actually. Yet, I don't experience only Brahman. Kitna vichitra hai. It is only that everything is that, but still I don't know. Like one dream character they can think like that, no? Every single thing that he is seeing in the dream world, outside in the dream world as well as inside his mind as a dream character, every single thing is nothing but that waker, but still he doesn't know the waker. Why? Because he is identified with his upadhi, with his equipment. So that's why sukshmatvat tad avigneyam. It is very subtle, so it is non-comprehensible at the moment because of identification with this. That's why the only way to do this is neti neti. Reject. I am not this, I am not this. There is no other way. Whatever other sadhanas I do, I have to finally come to negation. I am not this finite entity, I am not the five elements, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the ego, I am not the vasanas, I am not avidya, I am not ignorant also. Full, everything has to be negated. Sukshmatvat tad avigneyam and durastham cha antike cha tat. It is far, yet it is the closest. Why it is far? This is your homework now. This durastham cha antike cha tat. I didn't ask today whether you did homework or not. Last time also I gave you all this homework only. But next time I will ask. This durastham cha antike cha tat, na, you have to explain to me from space, time and causation, object standpoint. From space, time and object standpoint, how consciousness is far yet near. Very interesting this is. Space, time and object standpoint say you have to explain consciousness is far yet near. Durastham cha antike cha tat. Dekhenge fir. For today I will stop here. सूक्ष्मत्वात् वो तो लिखा ही ऑलरेडी उसके पहले It is sukshma, so it may be difficult to comprehend, but do it.
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते मैया जय भगवद्गीते हरिय कमल विहारिणि सुंदर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनी कामासक्तिहरा तत्त्वज्ञान विकासिनी विद्या ब्रह्मपरा ॐ जय भगवद्गीते निश्चल भक्ति विधायिनी निर्मल मलहारी शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी सब विधि सुखकारी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते राग द्वेष विदारिणी कारिणी मोद सदा भव भयहारिणी तारिणी परमानंद प्रदा ॐ जय भगवद्गीते आसुर भाव विनाशिनी नाशिनी तमरजनी दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी हरिरसिका सजनी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय हरिपद प्रेम दान कर अपनो कर लीजय ॐ जय भगवद्गीते मैया जय भगवद्गीते जय भगवद्गीते न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम् नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्नि तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्व इदं विभाति। बोलिए श्री गीता मैया की जय, बोलिए श्री कृष्ण भगवान की जय, बोलिए श्री सद्गुरु महाराज की जय।
So today is Udit's birthday also, and he is a Yajman for today, Aarti Yajman. So we invoke God's grace and blessings on him, and we will sing for him. Gao sab log. Janma dinamidam ai priya sakhe shantanotu te sarvada mudam prarthayamahe bhavashatayushi ईश्वर सदा त्वां च रक्षतु पुण्यकर्मणा कीर्तिमर्जया जीवनं तव भवतु सार्थकं जन्मदिनमिदम्। Many happy returns of the day. Have a great year of sadhana, seva, experience lot of love, happiness and grace of Bhagavan. Hari Om.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।